So in the previous tutorial, we looked at how to create a teach mode. Now we're going to take a look at how to create a test mode. So what we can do is go up to our main toolbar and right here, click on the little drop-down arrow and choose Manage Screen Recordings. We'll select the recording and choose step-by-step. In this case, we want to choose test mode rather than teach mode. And we'll leave all the other settings as their default options, and then click Insert. So we can see here that the test mode has been inserted as a subflow nested within the teach mode subflow, which is not exactly what we want. I mean, it won't do any harm like this. It's just a little bit strange to look at it this way. To fix that, we can just collapse it and then drag it outside of the subflow. We can use until we see the blue insert indicator. And now we have our teach mode and then followed by our test mode. All right, so now we want to do a little bit of customization here, similar to what we did with the teach mode. We'll select the first step here and double click to update the instructions. And then we'll go on to the first click step. Now, as before, the clip from the video is not quite the right frame. You can see here there's the gray hover highlight, which doesn't matter so much in teach mode, but in test mode, it kind of gives away the correct answer. So we do want to correct that. So we'll right click on the video and choose Edit Screen Recording Step. And as before, we'll just nudge the frame backwards until this is no longer highlighted. So there we go. Now it's no longer being highlighted. And then we'll put the hotspot into its correct position. Let's do one more step. Similarly here, we're going to right click and adjust the frame until the folder is no longer being highlighted. There we go. So now it's not giving away where to click. And you would continue doing that for all the steps. Luckily, you don't have to do the instructions. The teach has step-by-step instructions. Here we only have a sort of a post-it note that provides a higher level information you might need to complete the task, but doesn't give exactly what the learner needs to do on each step. So let's take a look at how to customize that right now. Well, let me show you the yellow post-it quickly, and then we'll show you how to customize it. So here it's a sort of a floating object that has these high-level instructions. If the instructions that you need to complete a task don't fit on this post-it, there is a way you could set this up to change dynamically based on what page you're on. So if you're on steps 1 through 10, it would show some text, text 1. When you get to step 11 through 25, it would show a different set of instructions. But to keep things simple, I'm just going to just assume you're only going to have one set of high-level notes here. So let's go ahead and take a look at how to adjust this. We'll exit out of preview, and now what we want to do is go to our Masters tab right here. And there's a tab here for the Sim Master Test. We'll want to select that, and then go to the Post-it Note layer. And then here I can just double-click to edit this text. Okay, so I've customized my text. It doesn't quite fit on the post-it. I can select that image, resize it as I need to. Also want to remove these instructions down a little bit. If I wanted to, I could, of course, make this wider. You can see if I can get it to fit on one row. So, adjust that however you want. And that's pretty much it. Let's go back to the flow. And we'll just make sure that looks good. We'll click on Preview. So there's our instructions. All right, so there's one more thing we can add. It's sort of an optional thing. The way this is currently set up, when I get to the last page of the teach mode, it's just going to flow right into the first page of the test mode. So let's have a look at that. So I end the teach, I click continue, and it goes right into the test mode. We can instead have a launch page that tracks the completion of this teach mode and the test mode and kind of gives you the option to jump to either one of them initially. So if we want to use this template, what I can do is go back here to the beginning, and I'm going to create a new page right here. And onto that new page, I'm going to insert a template. So I'll go to my templates menu and choose apply template. And we'll choose the software sim category. Select this template and apply it. By default, this shape here is not quite tall enough, this background shape. If I try to click on it, it's not selectable. If that ever happens, it's probably because the object is locked in the cast. I can see the little lock icon. So I just need to unselect that, and now I can resize it to be big enough. Of course, there's other customizations that you might want to do. For example, you want to change the logo or change this text. And we will want to customize the actions that happen when you click on these buttons. So to do that, you'll want to go to the Template Actions tab and select this link here to show template actions. And we'll notice that the teach mode starts on page 3 and the test mode starts on page 13. So what I want to do is when the learn button is clicked, I want to go to page 3, and when the test button is clicked, I want to go to page 13. And then when I get to the end of the teach mode, I'll select to jump back to page 2. So I'll click on that. And here, instead of going to the next page, which is how it is by default, we will grab from our page category the go to a specific page block and choose page 2. So this page right now is called page 1. I didn't name it very well. Let's just rename that quickly. Or sim launch page, I guess would be a better name. But anyway, so we've set that up here on the end of the teach mode. Now we're going to go to the end of the test mode, and we'll do the same thing. Instead of going directly to the next page, we'll grab a new block here, call this one here, go to a specific page. In this case, it's now the sim jump page, page 2. And that should do it. Let's just preview it and make sure it all works properly. So we'll do learn mode first. I'll skip ahead here. Okay, we've reached the end of the teach mode. I'll click continue. We earn our completion check mark, and now I can go on to test mode. Again, I'll skip ahead, and here I've reached the end of my test mode. I have a passing score, so I'll click continue, and I earn my check mark for test mode. And that's pretty much it. So we've created a teach mode and a test mode.